What's up, everybody? Today's guest is drum and powerhouse Jesse Bartz of Columbus, Ohio's Lo-Pan. Last time I saw Lo-Pan was on tour with North Carolina's ASG in what made for one hell of a night of stoner rock groove awesomeness. But as I interviewed drummer Scott Key of ASG that night, I'd made it a point to talk with Jesse at another point. And that point just happened to be when Lo-Pan got an amazing opportunity to work with producer, engineer, mixer extraordinaire James Brown, not to be confused with the deceased godfather of soul, of course. They did not resurrect him. But in any case, said James Brown, the one that's alive, has worked with, just a couple little bands like Foo Fighters and Nine Inch Nails, to name a few. But they got to work with him in New York, nonetheless, at the amazing Reservoir Studios in Midtown Manhattan. And no shortage of funny or bizarre stories, and both of us recounting our experiences in commuting into the city and other bizarre subway experiences, etc. So yeah, looking forward to this new record from Lo-Pan, and super psyched to hear those big old stainless steel Ludwigs Jesse had set up in that big room. Shout out to my sponsor, New Orleans Record Press. If you're looking at putting out vinyl for your project, check out NewOrleansRecordPress.com. They're the first state-of-the-art record press and facility in the city of New Orleans, and they'll press 12 or 7-inch records in either 150 or 180 grams. Plus, they have colored vinyl options, center label printing, blank and printed packaging styles, deluxe audio mastering, precision lacquer cutting, and electroplating. Some scientific shit, right? They'll even offer professional graphic design and project consultant services. Don't see what you want on their site? Need more options? Contact them for special projects. They also do projects of all sizes, from runs as low as 100 units up to commercial pressings in the thousands. So check them out, y'all, and tell them Crash Bang Boom sent you. And that's NewOrleansRecordPress.com. So here we go, y'all. Jesse Bartz, Lo-Pan, fucking groove rock, son. Crash Bang Boom.
Crowds go mad with joy.
Jesse Bartz, what's happening, man? How you doing? Lo-Pan in New York, recording a new record. I'm glad I could catch up with you. How you doing?
Absolutely, I'm great, man. Glad to be here again.
Getting out of Ohio and coming to the big city, man. Do you find this shit overwhelming?
No, not at this point.
You're a few days in.
Yeah, definitely. We have absorbed some of it.
Yeah.
Taking a shower in the subway water and stuff,
Nice. That's what you got to do. Speaking of crazy subway stories, I saved a guy's life like a month ago. Dude fell onto the tracks face down.
Whoa.
And I knew that the train was coming in and had a minute or less,
Wow.
minute tops, and I jumped down and picked him up and got him back up on the thing and fucking jumped up on the platform, and the fucking train came in.
That must have been some adrenaline.
Oh, dude, I was jacked
I bet
crazy.
shaking for like a while afterwards.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
I'm hooked on adrenaline at this point, definitely.
Well, yeah, feel free to save somebody's life on the subway and you'll find a new source of adrenaline. But how's New York been treating you thus far, man? You been enjoying it?
Great, yeah, it's been awesome, man. We have an incredible opportunity to record here at the Reservoir and work with James and stuff, and it's been a really, really cool opportunity and a great experience.
Nice. And y'all came in a few days back, and you had a few days to track drums. I saw you got your beautiful Ludwig 70s, I believe, stainless steel kit set up in that big-ass, beautiful room.
Yeah, absolutely. Little boom boom.
Yeah,
it's a loud room, definitely. I love it, man. It sounds great in there.
Yeah. How is and you say you're happy thus far with the drum sound you got now?
Yeah, definitely. Really, really cool. I was actually, while we were tracking it, we recorded In Tensions also with the stainless steel kit, but it wasn't as big of a room or anything.
Right.
And obviously, James brought in all of his own mics and everything too, so it just sounds totally different through this console and through his ears and stuff too. It's really, really good sound, definitely.
That's awesome, man. And I think with Intentions, y'all recorded that in Ohio originally, right?
Yeah, we did it at a Sonic Lounge in Ohio,
Okay.
right in Columbus, where we're from and stuff. So
Nice.
we were a little bit spoiled in that we got to spread out the time and go home afterwards and stuff,
Right.
and sleep in our own beds.
Yeah.
That's quite a luxury, and we really appreciate it at this point, 5 days into, sleeping here and stuff.
Right. Have y'all been mostly sleeping at the studio here? Or did
No.
y'all...
We have the guy who owns Aqualam, Jonathan. He has a place in Brooklyn and Greenpoint, so
Nice.
we've been staying there every night and stuff, and just commuting downtown. So we've been doing the regular commute into Manhattan and stuff, though.
Right. You feel like New Yorkers all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
right. Totally acclimated again.
That is amazing, man. Have you run into any just absurdly smelling people on the train? I only say this because the
absolutely.
last 2 days in a row on the same train at the same time, there's this old dude with his shoes off, and it smells like a combination of rotting flesh, a wet dog, and like a pissy diaper. And what is amazing is that, you step onto the car and you realize there are people sitting here around him that are just like, yeah, I'll smell this on my commute. And
Absorbing
there's no fucking way. I'll wait for another train, or I'm going to desperately try to get into another car to not have to sit there. And it was only one stop. I'd probably have to smell it for 35 seconds, and there was no fucking way I was signing up for that. So I don't know if you've experienced that as well as
A little bit here and there, definitely. There's characters all over the place.
Oh,
So.
no shortage.
Yeah.
Millions and millions of people, you're bound to run into just somewhere between anywhere on the spectrum, from just maniacal assholes to just eccentrics to God only knows.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up right outside of D.C., so I definitely was acclimated to the metros and the subways and
Gotcha.
stuff, and seeing all kinds of characters. It's a big melting pot of cultures and stuff there too, which is really cool. It has a lot of pluses. There's some cons too, but I mean, I don't know. It's part of being in the city like that, definitely.
Right. That's wild, man. And then I guess after y'all wrap up this some of this preliminary recording, getting drums and the meat and potatoes, as we say, where are y'all going to from here to wrap up more of the recording?
Just up north, up near like White Plains, Westchester. We'll be staying up in Stamford, but the James's place, his studio, his home studio and stuff is over there.
Okay. I'm terribly ignorant as to where things are outside of the main boroughs here, because I've never owned a car in my 13 years of being in New York. So how far is White Plains from here?
I'm not from here either, so I'm not positive, but I would say typically as the bird flies, it's probably like within a couple miles, but it'll probably take 3.5 hours to get there.
To go all of 2 miles because of the fucking traffic in Manhattan.
Something like that.
That sounds about right.
5 bridges.
Yeah, exactly. How many days do y'all have to track at the next stop?
Like 5 more days. We've only got to do the rest of the vocals and a little bit of guitar stuff. We're probably going to try to concentrate a lot of that on mixing and stuff to try to get it all wrapped up before we actually have to head back.
Yeah. Right on, man. Well, y'all are in a kind of a strange spot here in Midtown.
Garment District.
Yeah, it's really strange. I won't go too far in depth into it, but I actually worked like a half a block from here.
Oh, okay.
And I swear this sounds crazy, but I worked for a Nigerian prince who opened up his own TV network.
Wow.
And was funded by oil money and God only knows what, blood diamonds, who fucking knows.
Right.
He still owes all of us money.
Oh,
so it was like
great.
the total Nigerian scam, the stereotype job. But it was every time I come in this area, I'm like, my God, I spent like a year and a half, however long it was, working for this crazy Nigerian prince.
Coming to this exact place or
Yeah.
right near this exact place. Yeah,
I get a little
get it.
PTSD coming up in here, man.
Right.
It stresses me out. It reminds me I'm still owed money. God damn it.
You're right.
Well, man, I dig your playing. I dig the band. I
Thanks,
really
man.
dug the last EP. I know the record prior to that, was that Colossus?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so you recorded that with a mutual friend of ours,
Andrew
Schneider.
Schneider.
Amazing
Yeah.
producer, worked with everybody from Keel Hall, Cave In, the list goes on and on.
Yep.
Amazing guy to work with. I was trying to figure out the timeline on it, but y'all didn't record prior to his studio flooding out during Hurricane Sandy, correct?
Yeah, post.
Post. Okay,
Yeah,
so y'all were out in like Coney Island at that point.
Yeah, south, like the next to last stop on the train going down
Yeah.
that direction.
Oh, it's like
we
balls
recorded
deep.
it, and it was like I want to say it was like March, like end of March or something, and it was like almost ready to be summertime, fair time kind
Yeah.
of thing down there, and all the people were coming back and starting to open up the rides and all that stuff, and it was on the 3rd floor above a Popeye's chicken.
Oh boy.
It was an awesome experience loading our equipment up and down those flights of stairs and stuff sucked, but beyond that, it was a really, really cool thing, and it was really fun to record with Andrew. Andrew's an incredible dude.
Yeah.
All the way around. I mean, incredible musician and as well as, producer and stuff too.
100%.
Really, really cool guy to record with too, man. I mean, just really fast at everything, had good suggestions, and just like really had an ear for what he wants and what he does, and it's obvious with his recordings.
Man, I couldn't agree more, and I think that record Colossus sounds great as well.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Carl Saff. I think Carl Saff has mastered the last 2 things for us.
Same with my band.
Yeah. Amazing. Another dude with an ear that is just ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't know. I've actually never met him or anything.
Me
But,
neither. Me neither.
He does an incredible job, and every time, Jonathan Nunez from Torch was actually the one that mixed the Intention stuff.
Oh, cool.
Him and Ryan Haft. Ryan's also from Wrong.
Yeah.
Both Miami kind of Southern Florida bands and stuff. But
right.
Both those dudes helped out a lot with the production of Intentions as well.
That another one that sounds great, man.
Thanks.
I'm always glad anytime I can hear like heavier rock bands that still have melodic vocals without sounding cheesy. You know?
Yeah.
It's a rare thing. I think it's become so easy to just kind of growl your way through vocals that more bands are doing that more often than not. And now, strangely enough, there seems to be a disproportionate amount of bands that have that as opposed to bands that have actual like kind of melodic vocals in it.
Yeah, I could not agree more. Definitely. I've seen the flip-flop go both directions
I know,
on that,
right?
I mean, we've been a band since 2005 now.
Wow.
Jeff joined our band like 2 years after that, and we've always been, heavy guitar riffed with very melodic vocals, and we've seen scenes change over the time and stuff, and when there has been an excess of some of those singers, or when there's been a void of some of those singers and stuff, we're very lucky in that our singer is incredibly talented that way and has an incredible ear for melody and stuff, and writes really, really, really cool stuff.
Absolutely. Well, here's one for you. You mentioned, I guess, it sounds like y'all have been doing this for 13 years.
Yeah, Scott and I have been together since like 2005, playing together. Scott, the bass player.
Right on. And you said you're originally from D.C. When did you end up in Ohio?
95.
Oh, okay.
Prior to that, so I was there in a couple other bands, and like right after high school, I went to Columbus and stuff. There was a studio there. My friend had already moved there. I could get a little bit of nighttime work working at a studio, just helping out intern wise and stuff like that.
Really?
And then not too long after that, I just got a job as soon as I could at like I think it was Sandwich Shop, and then like UDF, and then just like anything else I could just to pay bills. Yeah. I mean, I wanted to go there because there was way more musicians that were playing stuff that I really was interested in there than anywhere else.
Interesting.
And I had some friends that already lived there and stuff too, so it was pretty easy. Not too long after that, I got a job at a drum shop there, Columbus Percussion.
Oh, cool.
Worked there for like 10 years and did tech work and stuff, and got really, really inundated into that scene and stuff, and ended up doing, a whole bunch of the invitationals and the workshops and things like that they have around, and then got totally burnt out on drums in general from being so overwhelmed with it all the time.
I bet.
Had to walk away from that for a little while and stuff, and appreciate why I was playing and stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, I've been really fortunate in Columbus, man. It's a really cool scene, and there's a lot of really good musicians there, and it's really, the cost of living is very reasonable there. It's a good spot for a lot of bands, and there's always, new younger crowds and stuff. The OSU is there, so everything in that city is built around OSU, and there's, half a dozen new bars every year, and there's probably 36 new bands every year, all that are like 18 to 25 year olds.
Right.
That's exactly what I was at that point. So
that is wild.
Yeah.
Huh. Admittedly, I don't think I've ever been to Columbus. I've been to Cincinnati and Cleveland.
We're bigger than both.
Really? I believe it. Yeah, I mean, if you got OSU there too, I would imagine.
I think we're like in the top 15 largest cities in the whole country at this point.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Columbus is huge, man. It's big city per capita and stuff, and it grows like exponentially both directions all the time right now. There's so much like actual commerce and development going on there that it's a very hard place not to have a job. Like I said,
that's great.
The whole mode of living there is very feasible. Definitely.
Yeah. I'm going in on 13 years here, and now that I have a son and a wife and never owned anything in my life, but paid probably $130,000, $40,000, $50,000 in rent, whatever it is, have shit to show for it. Yeah, it is not sustainable here. The
You're
move, the
brave.
inevitable move is coming within the next couple of years or so.
Where did you live before here?
New Orleans. I ended up in New York because of Hurricane Katrina.
Oh,
so
wow.
2005, September 5th exactly. Katrina was August 29th. So same year that you ended up moving to Columbus, I ended up in New York from New Orleans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible, man. You said 2005?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like 10. I was in Columbus 95.
Oh,
and then
gotcha.
You were, but that's still not to negate from what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying. New Orleans is also a really, really cool city, man. I have a buddy who lives down there that's in a band called Suplex.
Oh, I know. Which
Andy?
one? Danny? Oh, yeah, Danny Nick. I've known Danny Nick
and Danny too,
since the early 90s.
Good dude, man. We actually did a bunch of dates with Suplex in earlier Lo-Pan days and stuff. Us and
I believe-
Backwoods Payback.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just interviewed Andy on the podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
Very
like
cool, very
two episodes ago.
I think his dad has a shop and stuff. I've never been down there,
Yeah.
but I think that they have like a whole shop.
He comes
and-
from a super musical drumming
Right,
family.
that's what
They're
he was
all
telling me.
musicians. His brothers, the whole family. They're
It
all
kind of shows. I mean, he definitely is
Yeah,
a gifted
rips.
individual as
Yeah.
far as drumming and stuff, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's awesome, man. What a small world. That makes total sense, though. We talked about you, I guess, growing up in D.C. and then making the move to Columbus. But when did you start playing drums?
I actually started playing drums like 7 years old.
Really?
Yeah, I was
Did you
really
come from a
really-
musical family or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's
Yeah, my
awesome.
dad plays guitar. My mom plays some guitar and piano and stuff. My grandma plays guitar. My grandma plays piano too. I mean, I was just always around.
Oh, that's interesting.
Was definitely like 5, 6 years old. Dragged to all the concerts and stuff like that too. So,
Do you remember your first concert you saw?
I mean, I do vaguely. I think I was taken to a Frank Zappa concert.
No way. Are you
Oh,
kidding
yeah,
me?
Absolutely.
Come on.
But I don't really. I mean, I remember being there and stuff, and I remember seeing the performance and stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't really remember the songs or anything like that. But I do remember, like within a year of that time period, I was memorizing Frank Zappa songs and stuff like that, and trying to actually like sit down and sing them out or play them out however I could on whatever instrument I could get my hands on and stuff.
Right.
Which is kind of where my son is at this point too. At
Whoa.
like 3 years old, he's just like hands on every instrument he can find and just wants to like, you know, sing and turn the music up loud and express himself, which is really cool. Yeah.
That's wild. Does he like your music? Some of it?
He doesn't really listen so much to mine.
Yeah.
I haven't actually played him very much of mine.
Oh, really?
My wife has shown him some videos of us and stuff, but I've never really like,
Yeah.
I don't know, opened that door up, I guess it would
Right.
be the best way to put it. I'm not for any reason in particular, and I'm sure at some point that'll happen, but you know, I don't know. No, I'm always kind of way more humble about music. I don't even really talk to my family that much about my music or anything like that. You know, it's kind of like a different disconnect for me that way.
Right. Well, I don't talk to my family much about it just because the music that I'm presently playing, I know that they probably completely hate. So I just kind of be like, yeah, playing some gigs, you know, just kind of leave it at that.
There's
I don't need
definitely that side of it too, where it's just not their cup of tea in any way. Not that either one of them drinks tea. Yeah,
to-
actually.
Right, exactly. Not literally.
No.
Do you remember your first drum set?
Oh yeah.
What was it?
Thomas Swingstar, wine red. Yeah, I had it. Yeah, because I had to save up my money to buy the thing. I had to work and mow lawns all summer and stuff. I was
Did the same thing, literally mowing
11
lawns
or
and shit.
12, something like that. And I told my mom that I really wanted a drum set, and she was like, well, I will match the money that you have at the end of the summer for whatever drum set you want. So I was
That's
like, oh,
awesome.
that is amazing. I will work my ass off. And then there was, you know, I don't even know how much it was at that. It was probably like $500 or something like
Right.
that. But there was a set at the store that I had seen that I had already planned on in my head buying and everything.
And it was still there by the time you had the money?
It had to be. There was just nothing else that was
destiny. It was
right, yeah,
bound
yeah,
to happen.
Exactly. And it was a total piece of crap, but it was my piece of crap. So
That's
I
wild.
definitely love that drum set. I don't have that drum set anymore, actually, which is kind of ironic.
Every now and again, I'll talk to somebody who still has their
Has
first
still
drum
the
set. I'm
first.
like, dude, I've sold 3 or 4 drum sets into it in 26 years of playing at this point. I don't have.
Man, I don't even know what happened to that drum set, to be honest with you.
Really? You don't remember selling it? Because I guess you were so young.
So I still had that set when I moved to Columbus, but I didn't have it for very long after that.
Wow.
I got a Gretsch Maple like probably 2 years after I moved to Columbus.
Oh, right on. Do you still have that kit?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've actually got additional pieces to that kit now that are just ridiculous. Yeah, too much of that kit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Alex Van Halen style? You got a 20-piece kit set up?
I started with a 10, 12, 14, 16, and the 24 kick. And then eventually I wanted a 13, 16, 22 setup. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That's actually what I want now, too. But for whatever reason, I had to have the other sizes to get to the point where I wanted those sizes, you know? But so yeah, then I acquired more eBay drums, and now that kit just sits in cases in my garage.
Damn, dude. How many kits do you have total at this point?
Probably 5.
5?
5 or 6, probably.
Oh, wow. You do have some extra space.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'm in New York in an apartment, and I have 2, but 2 are in the practice space. So
That's a lot for New York, usually.
It is. It is rare. And I got one down in New Orleans and an extra bass drum, so I'm spread out with some stuff. I own 3 kits, 2 of which are in New York. But
yeah, I'm probably I have one more set up at home, and then, yeah, I've only got like 2 really set up. So the other 3 are pretty much all in cases in my garage and stuff. But I'm constantly like changing setups or playing with different drums or whatever fits like that actual setup. You know, there's different bands and stuff too where the steel drum setup that I have that's set up for this band is particular to this band.
100%. When I hear you playing with it, I'm like, that's the drum sound.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
It does not fit with a jazz band in any way.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Those drums actually, I mean, they're hard to play quiet in any way. They're not meant to be quiet, you know? So, I mean, you beat the hell out of them and you get great tones and everything, and they carry forever because that's what they're designed to do. But you cannot like try to play a intimate atmosphere with those at all.
No,
you know?
they're just not made for it. Like I know on my Vista-Lite kit, and normally I guess people don't really record with older Vista-Lite kits, it seems, but once I got mine mic'd up, I could hear sort of some of the inconsistencies in the barren edges and some of that stuff. When you mic yours up, because it's an older kit, did you hear any of that, any strangeness that you wouldn't normally hear to a live ear?
So there's muffles, there's internal muffles on all of those.
Oh, you've got the little dial?
Yeah,
okay,
and
nice.
I've backed most of those off.
Yeah.
I also put on my floor tom the Pearl feet, the ISO feet. I would tell any drummer out there that is the best upgrade for any floor tom issue that you will ever have.
I don't even know what it is. ISO feet?
Yeah, so they're rubber feet. They're from Pearl, and instead of having your floor tom sit solid on the ground, it actually suspends it up off of the ground.
Oh, nice.
So that floor tom rings forever. Pluses and minuses to that, obviously. So do muffling as needed or whatever.
Right.
But anybody who I've ever had an issue that they could not tune their floor tom or something like that, the first thing I would suggest to them is to change the rubber feet on the bottom of their legs, unless it's like a suspended floor tom or something like that.
Right, exactly. Right.
But you will notice a difference immediately.
No
immediately.
Shit.
Like it is a black and white comparison. Honestly,
no shit.
Yeah, definitely. And I was blown away by the first time I did it, and I have done it in numerous other situations and been blown away every time I've heard it.
That's wild.
It is.
Damn, dude. Well, and speaking of this stainless steel kit, how did you come across it? Because when I saw you playing with it with Lo-Pan, I was like, I think I went over to you. I was like, God damn it, that's literally the drum set that I want. Same dimensions, era, everything about it. Like that's the kit that I want. So how did you find it?
It's I was actually I was looking for it for about 2 years. I knew with the price range that I wanted to be in and everything, and the dimensions that I wanted and stuff, but I actually didn't find it. We were on tour in Europe, and I was still looking through Craigslist because I'm compulsive about doing that all the time. And I saw it listed on there, and I contacted the guy, and I was like, look, I'm going to be back in like 2 weeks. If it's still available, if there's any way that you could meet me. He was actually in Chicago when we flew in and out of O'Hare Airport. And
wow.
I was like, if you meet me at the airport or whatever when I get back, I will gladly get those off of your hands.
You
right
coordinated
now.
it in being in Europe and then going through O'Hare Airport and got that kit at the airport?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He met up with me after it was kind of, texting back and forth with somebody from Craigslist who you've never met before and stuff. But I mean, it all worked out and stuff. And it was crazy to be in the parking lot checking out this drum set that I had looked for like 2 years. And I was so tired from traveling for
You're like, give me
literally
the
like
thing.
30 hours straight. And I'm like, get the fucking things in the van. Let's go.
Wow.
We had to drive home from O'Hare too.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. Did you then have to ship them from there? Or
No.
Okay.
We drove our van to O'Hare and parked at O'Hare. And
Oh my
drove
God,
all
that's
the way.
crazy
It's
that worked out.
5.5 hours to go from Chicago to Columbus afterwards. But
Wow.
yeah.
Well, man, how was it playing in Europe? Where have y'all played, and where do you enjoy to play when y'all go over there?
I really like Switzerland and the Netherlands and Spain and the UK, Germany. Germany's off the fucking hook.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they go crazy. It's awesome.
It's funny. I've talked about it with many people. My perception of it is that they'll get excited, but then when you talk to them about it, they're very deadpan, and they don't sound as though they're very excited when they explain it to you, or they'll be brutally honest and say kind of bizarre, off the cuff things. That's been my experience at Germany.
Yeah, it's definitely not like a noisy venue environment or anything like that. Like they go to watch a show, and it's kind of a little bit more. I don't know. They definitely show their appreciation and get enthusiastic about the music and everything. But I don't know. The American approach to it is to like be screaming at your best friend standing next to you and pouring beer on them and getting another one from, screaming at the bartender. And it's always just a loud environment. You know what I mean?
New Orleans is especially loud. I don't know if you noticed that. It's it's all the drinking, man. It has to be.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a 24/7 town, definitely. Kind of like New York, 24/7. San Francisco, 24/7. I mean, they're just certain cities that are just on. Barcelona, Spain, 24/7.
I have yet to go there.
Berlin, Germany, 24/7.
24/7. I can vouch for that.
God, man.
Yeah. When I was there, when I was in Germany, it was 2007. And at the time, I don't know if y'all have been. When was the last time you went to Germany?
We were there in like 15, I think.
Okay, so a few years ago.
Yeah.
Were all the bars still super smoky?
Yes. Yeah. I do actually. We played a couple festivals and stuff, but at the two separate ones that we were at, the bars and stuff, they were definitely.
Yeah, they don't really bother to ventilate. No. It's a bizarre thing. As like technically advanced as Germany is, they're like just total Cro-Magnons when it comes to smoking. They just want to get into a smoking den and drink and inhale all of everyone's fucking smoke.
Yeah. Part of the environment. You become part of the environment no matter what you do.
Yeah, man.
It's tough on singers, I'm sure, man.
I feel like there has to be.
And France is like that too. There was a place that we played in France. I can't remember the name of the place, but it was like a old subway tunnel or something almost.
Wow.
It was like a basement kind of thing, and it had like a dome-shaped ceiling to it and stuff. And they definitely smoked like crazy in that place. And there was no like circulation at all in that place either. So it was tough, man. Once we were done, it was really hot in there too, man. It was just unreal.
Just sweating with cigarette
like
smoke
crazy,
sticking to you,
man.
fucking absorbing it through your pores.
Yeah, it was definitely eye-opening experience. But again, an incredible opportunity and experience in every aspect that you can think of. When you start thinking about that you want to be in a touring band or you want to be in making music for a living or something like that, those are one of the things that you have on your checklist, to
for sure.
be able to go to Europe and play some music or something.
Yeah.
It was an incredible thing to check off, definitely.
It was the single most appreciative moment that I think I've had, because I've only been over once, but I've never felt more appreciated as a musician in my 26 years of playing. And I was like, well, shit, at least there's that.
Yeah, I think probably Roadburn Festival for us did that.
Really?
If there was like one instance at that whole thing that was just like overwhelmed me because I was so appreciative that we were in that situation, in that circumstance and stuff. And it was awesome. That whole place, the Tilburg, Netherlands is where Roadburn is.
Right.
And they get serious about festivals over there. The whole town shuts down.
Right.
And it's just like people everywhere. And it's a huge community thing,
Yeah.
I think that they're not as integrated community-wise as they seem like they're more segregated. Like the metal dudes don't really hang out with the hip-hop dudes. And I come from a background where everybody's just kind of on the same let's do more music kind of thing. But it seems over there like heavy metal people hang out with heavy metal people, and then like the death metal people only hang out with death metal people.
All the separate subgenres.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like their little cliques that they associate with.
Certain pagan things do not mix with stoner rock or whatever else is going on, you know. They just have different goals in mind, I guess, you know. But I mean, it was an incredible experience to see all of that and then come back from that to America and see how integrated everything is here. It's just like completely different that way. Totally different.
Wow. Well, what year, when you mentioned the Roadburn Festival, what year in particular are you talking about?
We did 2015.
Oh, okay. So it was that trip?
Yeah, the same European trip.
Nice.
Yeah, it was incredible, man.
Wow. Who were some of the other bands that were on that bill?
Bong Ripper.
Oh, okay.
Played Argus from Pittsburgh.
Wow, okay.
Actually, we shared a dressing room with those dudes, and it was awesome. That band kills too, man.
Really?
If you ever get a chance, check them out. Yeah,
I'll check them out.
Argus, Brian is the lead singer for those guys. Really, really, really good dude, and really good band too.
Nice.
Sir Admiral Brown.
I don't know.
Cloudsy. I can't remember how to pronounce all of it, but they were on it. Oh, there was a really cool band called Bast.
Oh.
Bast.
Okay.
From the UK. Those dudes were awesome, man. Like a 3-piece, kind of proggy, kind of technical and stuff, definitely.
Cool.
But definitely an oversized kit and everything, too. Dude has, like, great big long dreadlocks and plays, like, real high cymbals and a kit that comes all the way around them and stuff. So it's just like this animal cage thing.
Whoa!
But it's really cool. It's really good. And they're
awesome.
a really cool band, too.
Nice. So despite all of the sort of segregated subgenre cliques, it sounded like y'all were super well received. If that's kind of strikes out in your mind as being a particularly well received moment in your career.
Yeah. And Roadburn in particular does seem to like have like a lot of different styles of music and stuff.
Sure.
I guess I should have clarified and said that there was other festivals besides Roadburn that were definitely way more like just geared towards one type of music or something like that. Roadburn definitely actually encompasses a lot of different types of music, and it was just a overall really cool experience to see a whole town support what's going on that way, you know what I mean? Like it's like that whole town were working the venues and working the streets to make sure that there wasn't trash everywhere, and just everybody was like part of putting this thing together, and it really benefits that community a lot too, you know.
Damn. Rock and roll community coming together. It's fucking wild.
Yeah. I wish it would come together a little better in America too.
I know, right? Seriously.
They definitely got a little bit better of a approach to a lot as far as like supporting the artists and supporting other creativity outlets and stuff, you know. State
supplemented grants for artists and everything. Like
you start talking about cutting those fundings and stuff, man, you're just fucking up.
Right. Yeah, I know. Meanwhile, we can't even keep music programs in schools in this country, right?
It's a shame.
It is a shame. I've had this discussion before with people from Europe and mentioned the same thing. And it's like,
yeah, I'm worried about what our kids are going to go through. You know what I mean? I mean, what they're going to approach in the next couple of years and what we're actually leaving for them and stuff. It's a tough.
Well, we're so busy telling everyone we're the greatest country in the world every now and again. It might be good if we just pay attention to what other countries do. Cause
little self-reflection in that.
Yeah, every now and again, just shut up for a second to see how other people are doing stuff, because there are many instances where it's far more efficient and much more beneficial for all types of people.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Absolutely.
Well, do y'all have a name for this record yet or no?
No, we actually haven't. We've tossed around a couple different ideas and everything, but nothing that we've actually solidified at this point.
Do you have a goal date for trying to put it out?
Yeah, we're looking for like spring, like April, May, somewhere around there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it's 11 songs?
Right now it's 11 songs that we have recorded. I don't know what it's actually going to be when we're actually press it or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. We wrote 14 songs for this, and we kind of shelved a couple of them because we just didn't think that they fit, you know, this album or whatever we're trying to present with this recording and stuff. So I think that as a group, we're trying to, you know, over the years we've become a little bit better about trying to group what we're doing and have a little bit more of, I don't know, better presentation that way.
Absolutely.
not be so rushed and so forced as to make haste decisions and stuff. Be a little bit more planned, a little bit more calculated that way.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting, man. I look forward to hearing it. I'm glad I could catch up with you real quick and talk a little bit about the process and influences and drums and all that goodness.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming down and checking out the studio and stuff.
Absolutely. Well, good luck on the rest of the recording and going back to Ohio. I know you probably got home stuff to deal with, family, and more drums to collect and all kinds of shit to do when you get back home, man.
Yeah, still watch my son walk around, try to play marching band nonstop.
Exactly.
He thinks he's already leading a drum line. It's hilarious, but it's awesome.
Amazing.
And I will pick up a drum and march with him. I'm not
impressive
above that in any way.
Yeah. Apple didn't fall too far from the tree, my man.
No, absolutely not.
Right on, Jesse. Good talking to you, man.
You too. Thank you very much, man.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and thanks to Jesse and the Lo-Pan crew for rapping and yapping. Keep your eyes peeled for this new record coming out that they're recording here in New York. I, for one, am absolutely looking forward to hearing that bad boy. Psyched! We'll catch you on the next one. Crash, bang, boom!